Welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about interviewing. Now, hold on, don't run from the room. Okay. Again, in my 25 years formerly as a yearbook company representative, when I were to talk about interviewing, immediately a lot of students would kind of roll their eyes and kind of avert my gaze and all this sort of thing. Yeah, it takes a little bit of courage to go up to somebody else, especially somebody maybe that you don't know, to try to get information from them. But it's so important for your yearbook effort. Again, the yearbook is the story of this school year, stories, information about this unique year. It changes every year. So that means that every year we've got to go out and gather information. And part of that is talking to people. Now, in this video, we're going to show you how easy this really is. But the first thing we have to get across is how important it is. And for students watching this, I tell you what, this is a real life skill. It really is. If you're going to college, eventually you get a job, no matter where you go in life. Folks that are able to do just basic interviewing, again, which is just basic information gathering. Folks that do that really well kind of get over that hump and don't have a problem talking to other people. You will absolutely have a leg up on other folks in college, on the job, and so on, because of the experience you had here with your book in gathering information and interviewing people. And this is not hard at all. And we're going to show you how to do the basics with a fun activity coming up here at the end. Here's something to keep in mind, and maybe put this on a sign and put it up on the wall of your room. It's very simply, everybody has stories to tell. Every single person in your school has multiple stories to tell. And so the challenge for the yearbook is, all right, a book is a story of people, maybe not necessarily just which stories you're going to put in the yearbook, but maybe more like how many stories are you going to put in the yearbook? And it's not hard to do that at all. You could tell somebody's story with a picture and a caption. That's all you got to do. And the caption could literally be one sentence, and it could be who's in this picture and what's going on here. And by doing something as simple as that, connected to a picture, you are telling somebody's story. All right. And so that's part of our job. Well, part of that is we need to gather information like what's going on in this photo. And then preferably go talk to that person or these people and say, hey, tell me some things. What's going on here? Tell me about the who, what, where, when, why, how, all that basic English class stuff, right? My favorite question of all of them is one you could ask to anybody, and they will give you a response. And the very simple question is just tell me more about that. All right. Nobody knows everything about everything, right? Of course. So if you're going out there and you're thinking, boy, I don't know anything about this, that's okay. That's all right. All right. If you're not an athlete and you're talking to an athlete, you really don't know their sport and so on, they know their sport. And so the idea is you're talking about something and you say, tell me more about that. That person is going to start to fill you in. That could be a student artist or somebody in the drama club or somebody in some other group or organization and so on. You don't know much about that? That's okay. Simple question. Tell me more about that. And in every instance, that other person will, okay, let me see. Well, here's how this works. La, 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 la. Even really quiet people that you never hear much from in school, that person has stories to tell and they really want to tell them. And if you come out, tell me more about that. Okay, that person's thinking, this person's showing an interest in me. Wow, that doesn't happen all that often. Okay, let me tell you, boom, and off you go. There are no bad questions. None. I think a lot of students are like, I'm going to ask a really dumb question. No, there are no bad questions. The key is simply be curious. And part of that, you're gathering information that either you or somebody else with your staff can then use to put into the book with a caption or a write-up or whatever it turns out to be. Interviewing is not that hard. So let's do an activity. All right. Now, no matter you're watching this and so on, if you have a small group, large group, whatever, everybody, preferably, I'm old school, paper and pencil. All right, it could be your gadget, whatever your gadget is and so on. You can use that too. And advisors, if you're watching, here's where I need some help. First off, you're going to pair up everybody in the room. So everybody has a partner. Now hold on, wait. Everybody has a partner. All right. And what you're going to do is you're going to get some information about the other person. Now, I've done this. This is my favorite workshop activity for a lot of years. Now, a workshop might have different schools coming in to one central place and sort of, working with each other and so on. So, advisors, here's what I want you to do. No BFFs. All right, none of that. I want you to pair up people that don't know each other at all or don't know each other that well. Hold that thought when we get to that part in a moment. I want people pairing up with folks that they preferably do not know. Okay. And then what you're going to do here is your job is simple. Find out one interesting thing about the other person and get as many details about that thing as you can. That's it. All right. Again, everybody has a story to tell. Find one thing about that other person. Could be really big, might just be something that happened to them yesterday. It could be anything. Find one interesting thing and then get as many details about that as you can. Once again, who, what, where, when, how, why. All the basic English class questions. Okay. Now, advisors, here's the other part of this. All right. You're going to be going one at a time, one person talking to the other person for 4 minutes. That's it. Somebody be the timekeeper. All right. You're going to say, go. That person has 4 minutes to get a story about the other person and as many details as they can write down. At the end of 4 minutes, kind of yell out, switch. Now the two are going to exchange roles. Now the other person is asking the questions. Same question. One interesting thing about that person and as many details as you can get. So this total activity literally doesn't even take 10 minutes. But it's a great activity because it's never the same twice, because people have multiple stories to tell. Or you move around, of course, to other people and try this. And then the idea is you get the experience here in your yearbook group. Now let's go out to our school, maybe during lunchtime in the cafeteria, maybe on the bus, maybe before school, maybe between classes, whatever. Again, 4 minutes for this exercise, not a lot of time. You don't need a lot of time to just show some curiosity and say, tell me more about that, and get some details as you can get them. All right. So I'm going to end my video here. This is a great activity. See what you can do with it. When we're all done, maybe kind of go around the room and share interesting little tidbits and ideas that you learned from your other person. And then again, the idea is now, let's go do that with the whole school. It's a lot of fun and will make your yearbook so much better with lots of great information. All right, you ready? All right, have fun with this. Thanks for watching.